Hey, it's Denise. I guess the first thing I should mention today, besides welcome to my channel if it's your first time here, and of course welcome back if it's not your first time. Yesterday, Supreme Court Justice Ruth Bader Ginsburg passed away, which, regardless of your political party, if you are an American who's aware of her service on the Supreme Court and, just her life of public service, she really was an American hero. So I just felt like it wouldn't be right to start a video today without acknowledging that a truly great woman passed away yesterday. I won't go into all the details of my admiration for her, but she's been a Supreme Court justice since the 1990s when President Clinton appointed her. And not only was she only the second woman ever appointed to the court, but she was also Jewish. So she was a minority in two ways as far as the, WASPy boys club. Not an Anglo-Saxon Protestant and not a man. And she was not a tall woman. She was a small woman as far as stature, but she was a tremendous influence. And even though she was in her late 80s, she was known to young people because of her, basically taking no bull attitude and standing up for what was right. And she joked in an interview once when she was asked what would be enough women. Now, this interview was quite a few years ago. Someone still thought it was okay to ask, well, what would be enough women on the Supreme Court? And she was like, when it's all women, basically. Like she had a sense of humor. While she completely worked to bring forth equality for women and other underrepresented people, she did so with a sense of grace and humor, and I think was an inspiration to generations of women. So, there you have it. Just my little tribute to Ruth Bader Ginsburg. During the course of your lifetime, there will be people, whether they're I don't call a Supreme Court justice a politician. They're not politicians. They are public servants. And you may agree with their decisions, you may disagree with their decisions, but you have to look at the amount of time, the amount of response, the sheer volume of writing that a justice does, that shows you their commitment to the court and shows you their passion for their work. And if you do a little research, and I'm sure, now with her passing, that there will be plenty of sort of biographies or, highlights of her career and such available online. So do take a few minutes to learn a little bit about this great woman who just passed away yesterday. Okay. What else? Speaking of yesterday, not that the package arrived yesterday. Package arrived from Groupon probably 2 weeks ago. But yesterday I got around to setting up, giving my bed a makeover. We have a joke here, sort of in the North Country, which is what this part of northeastern United States refers to itself as, that we have two seasons, winter and the 4th of July. And that refers to the fact that it's either really hot or really cold, and there's not much. As far as spring and fall, they last about a week each. Up until 2 days ago, I was using the air conditioner all day and only turning it off at night. And that was only for maybe a 2-week period. Before that, it was just running 24/7 to keep my bedroom no hotter than 70 degrees because I can't stand it. hotter, and I can't stand it humid. So, yes, 2 days ago I switched to it being just fan, because by that point it was like 40 to 30 to last night. It was only 20 degrees, in the 20-degree range outside. So below freezing, and only in the 50s during, high of 50s in the daytime. So yes, the last couple days I've only been using it as a fan. But last night, with it going down to the 20s, I figured it was time, because I have these old-fashioned windows that like swing open inwards like a little door. And my air conditioner isn't a regular one that sits in the window. It's the portable one that sits in your, like the air conditioner's in your room. It's got almost like a tubing like that would come out of the back of your dryer that goes to the vent, to outside. And you attach that to, like, in my case, it was a piece of cardboard cut to the odd size of my very old-fashioned window. And then it was like over the last 2 years, probably 3 rolls of electrical tape and duct tape have been used to attach the outlet, the outflow, I should say, of the air conditioner. And that whole template then gets stuck in the window so that the hot air blows out through the screen and not back into the room. Because believe me, when that tape fails and the hot air starts blowing back into the room, you go to bed at a comfy 70 and you wake up covered in sweat, because it's now almost 90 degrees and it's like a sauna, because all the hot humid air that was supposed to be being vented out was instead blowing back in. Experienced that a few times. But yeah, being that I only had to use it as a fan for the last 2 days, and today again, like I said, it was in the 20s last night. It's only about 40 degrees this morning once the sun was fully up and all. So I went about tearing out the cardboard insert, and then wrestling because over the course of being the little door of the window being propped open all summer, the wood always warps just a little bit to make it pretty much almost impossible to get it to close again. And it's got the old-fashioned little latch that you're trying to turn the little metal thing and while shoving to get it to click shut. And it won't click shut. It just won't. So once again, out comes the electrical tape, because it's completely drafty and not insulated. And there's not even like a glass window. There's just the screen. And now, there's glass obviously in the door part that opens and closes, but it's not like a modern double-paned glass window. So yeah, I got it as closed as it gets, and then had to tape all around the edges so as to try to minimize the draft. So we have officially gone from the 4th of July to winter overnight. What does that mean? That means hopefully these annoying little fruit fly gnat things will hopefully be dead soon. It means that any outdoor plants that were not frost tolerant are now done, and my indoor gardening, I think today is the day there's only one last squash on my taking up the entire hallway winter squash, and it's the full size that a buttercup squash gets, and it's the right color for being ripe. So even though the stem doesn't really look dry yet, I really want to get that area cleared out. So that is on my to-do list for today. I have been focused on getting stocked up with some things that I needed, and unfortunately some of them take up space. So it's become like, the downstairs looks like a warehouse, and I don't have a lot of closet or cabinet space in this apartment. So organization really is key, or if you don't want it to feel like an obstacle course walking around. So today is Saturday, so Patrick did get up, did his duty, walked the dog, but went back to sleep because, hey, it's Saturday, and he is a college freshman, so, I feel like it's his right to go back to bed if he wants to. He's a good kid. He gets up and walks the dog for me. But yeah, I want to get that hallway cleared out, which means removing the large squash plants, and I think also getting rid of them will get rid of the remainder of, because they do kind of attract those little gnats and things, anything where you've got plant matter that's starting to decompose, and of course as the vine is starting to die, that will attract those annoying bugs. And I hang those fly strip things, and yes, it does catch them, but there's always seems to be one or two flying around. So yeah, it's kind of like a daunting task because it's a lot of vine to be, taking apart, and it's going to make a mess, which I'm going to, as I'm taking apart, because there's like dry, crumbly leaves and stuff. So it's going to make a mess that I'm then going to have to clean up. But I feel like once that's cleaned up, I can reclaim my hallway. I can actually access the spare room at the far end, and I can move some of the things I was talking about that, have arrived in like the past week or so. I can move those things and put stuff that doesn't mind. Now, storage-wise, that room gets cold in the winter. It's not going to actually freeze, but the way the heating system is for the upstairs of this apartment, the individual bedrooms don't actually have heating vents. There's a heating vent in the central hallway, so you have to leave your bedroom door open if you want to get any heat. And if all 3 bedroom doors are open, especially that one spare room that I just mentioned, how cold it is, that one is like, it has 3 big windows. They're all very drafty, and if you leave that door open, the hallway and the other 2 rooms are just cold all the time. The one heating vent cannot keep the whole upstairs warm. So I like to, in the winter, just keep that door shut. Just go in there if I need something out of that room, which I pretty much, like I said, just use for storage. So I'm going to be storing things in there that, like I said, it's not going to freeze, but it will be cold. So things that don't, just like dry goods, summer clothes, bagged up, stored up, in, airtight containers, things that I can just store in there, that they'll be out of the way, and that I can then reclaim my living room and dining room, which are overcrowded with stuff that just, like I said, needs to be reorganized and put out of the way. Very happy, I should say, with, if you've never checked out Groupon.com, and it's like it sounds like coupon, but group, Groupon. They do some really good deals. I've gotten everything from my mattress to the kind of, bed in a bag set that I just put on, this sort of baby blue color. This was the sheets, the comforter, and they tossed in one of those little, silly size throw pillows. I still have my favorite for many years, fuzzy and blue pillow that makes me think of Grover from the Muppets. He's getting a little scruffy looking. I was just looking at him today, and no, I'm not ready to part with him. But I'm wondering if I maybe do a little spot surface cleaning and then throw him in the dryer, if it might help freshen him up a little bit. I mean, he doesn't smell bad or anything, but he looks a little dingy. And especially being that I just went and got, the new sheets, and with the whole summer and some 4th of July and winter thing that I was telling you about, basically it goes to use the air conditioner most of the hot part of the year to keep it bearable, at, which to me is 70 degrees. And then, over the course of a couple days, it drops to, you're needing the heat to come on to keep it at 60. So, you drop 10 degrees in the temperature that your bedroom is, the whole house really, but as far as talking about blankets and such, my bedroom's going from 70 degrees to 60 degrees over the course of a couple days, basically. So instead of really, I didn't take any of my other blankets off. I'm just adding this. I mean, obviously I took the other sheets off and, I changed the sheets, but my, so I have the sheets and then the double-sided, one side's like a, fake fleece and the other side is a fake fur double-sided comforter. Then I have that reversible bright pink, bright green, really kind of lightweight, like summer weight comforter. And instead of taking that off, I just added the blue comforter, which is a little heavier, little more filling, a little more weight to it on top. So essentially I've got my sheets and then 3 comforters. I'd much rather a cool room and a lot of blankets because I don't like breathing uncomfortably warm air. So I'm not going to like crank up the heat or put a space. I don't know why the change in light suddenly happened and now I look like I've turned blue to match my sheets. Getting closer isn't helping. I still look like I match the sheets almost. Well, anyway. I would not, when I buy a bed in a bag, I'm basically just wanting the comforter and the sheet set. I'm not someone who uses a whole bunch of extra pillows on their bed because I sleep on my back mostly ever since my neck surgery, and I don't use a pillow. Now, my whole life I used pillows because I have asthma, and if you have asthma, you probably are more comfortable not flat on your back. But neck surgery trumps asthma in terms of the fact that my neck really needs to be like straight. My spine needs to be straight. So I can't be lying on my back with my head pushed forward on a pillow. If I do use a pillow, I have to have it like all the way under my shoulders so that my shoulders and head are like elevated, which therefore my neck isn't bent. So there'd be no need for 4 pillows, which, because it comes with the 2 pillow cases and then also 2 pillow shams that match, although they're only made of the sheeting material. They're not made of like any, pillow shams are usually made of like a heavier, stiffer sort of fabric. So I thought that was a little weird. But the sheets are really nice and soft. And again, I got them from Groupon. I've bought a bunch of stuff from Groupon over the years, and I would definitely say check them out as far as house goods and electronics and even clothing to some degree, especially, if you like brand name stuff, they often will have it at a discount. They also do discounts on things in your local area. So you can, like local businesses, you can buy a $50 gift certificate, say, for $30 to a local, whether it's a restaurant or some kind of class or activity. And right now, small businesses can definitely use the support. So if it's a business that's open and offering, an activity, and one of those freaking gnats, it's because I've got the lights on and the door open. All air conditioning season, I basically just had my bedroom door closed, so I didn't have to worry about really any of the gnats that might be attracted to the plants coming into my bedroom. I am attracting them by having the bright light on. I hope when I turn the light off, they leave. But yeah, check out Groupon. As again, now I don't find that they have anything in terms of the things we're talking about, shortage of, canning supplies, seeds, gardening stuff. That's not really their thing. But they definitely do like travel to some degree, like, local destinations, bed and breakfast, that kind of things. They'll give you great deals on. I know, not that I've gone on any of them, just because these places are like in the area kind of where I've lived most of my life, so I don't see them necessarily, oh look, I'm the right color again. I don't necessarily see them as places I would go on vacation at this point in my life, like Pocono Mountain resorts. They've got good discounts on. I live a little, like about an hour and a half, hour and 45 minutes from north of Albany, which is the capital of New York State, if you're not familiar. A lot of people just assume New York City is, but no, it is not. Albany is our capital, which is more in the, I mean, still on the towards the East Coast, but central as far as north and south. So I live about an hour and a half north of Albany, so I get a lot of the Groupon deal offers for places in Albany in terms of like spas, or, you know, like those drink wine and paint, or drink wine and, you know, make pottery or whatever type classes. So things like that, they give you deals on. And like I said, housewares, clothes, electronics, I have found that you can get good deals on Groupon. So yeah, check them out if it's not someplace that you've shopped. It's just another alternative. And they are also a site that if you use, what's the extension? Rakuten. It used to be simple. The name of it implied what it was, like that you got a percentage of cash back from free. One of these gnats is circling my head. If you see me like that, I keep touching my face. Yeah, I'm not like getting emotional here. I'm getting annoyed that a gnat keeps wanting to circle and sometimes land on my face, and it's driving me a little bit crazy. Where was I? Okay, yeah. It used to have a name that implied just what it was, like, you know, rebates.com or something simple, but it changed to, I think it's Rakuten. It's sort of like Honey, how Honey applies coupons, you know, coupon codes. Honey saved me $10 yesterday on an order that I placed, now that I'm thinking of it. Yeah, if you don't use the Honey extension, it's great. It on a lot of stores, it doesn't cost you anything, and on a lot of stores, it'll just kind of jump in and tell you that they've got coupon codes to try. And even sometimes if you go to a website like, oh, I have a 10% off coupon for this store, and you look at what your, when you get to the checkout point, you see what your total is going to be, and then Honey says they have coupons to try. Their coupon codes a lot of times are better than the coupon code that got you to go to the store in terms of the savings that they get you. So yeah, I got $10 off of a purchase I made yesterday just by using Honey. And then now this other one, I'm sure I'm mispronouncing it. Rakuten. Since they renamed it, I don't know how you say it. Anyway, that's more of like a cash back. Like you'll earn 2%. I think at Honey, now I'm confusing. Groupon right now, I think it's like 10% cash back on experiences, like local dining and such. 2% cash back on purchasing goods, and then some other amount on travel. But it adds up, and like quarterly, then they'll send you, like, depending on how much you used it, you might get $10 this quarter. You might get, I think the most I've ever earned back at a single time is maybe like $30. But the way I feel about it is, it's free money. I wouldn't have gotten that back if I didn't use that extension. So having that and having Honey can save you money when you're buying stuff anyway, and it doesn't cost you anything to use either of them. So I hope some of those shopping tips help you out. I am happy with my latest purchase. Like I said, happy with my sheets. They're nice and soft. My comforter is a nice, heavier than Walmart weight comforter. And now if I can just get my favorite old blue pillow there looking a little brighter, it'll, obviously it's not the same color, but at least it won't look like old and grungy. Don't have any cooking, canning things going on today. Dried my herbs that I picked yesterday. I ended up deciding it was just too cold and damp. I wasn't going to hang them and risk them getting moldy. So I put them in my oven at the lowest setting, which in my oven is 170 degrees. So 2 hours at 170 degrees dehydrated them perfectly. So I left them in the oven overnight. And now today I'm going to be sort of picking the dill and parsley and, off the stems and putting it in a jar or bag. And I have enough dried dill and parsley definitely for the winter. I don't think I'll have to grow that again until the spring, and I can always grow it again in the Aerogarden if I feel like I'm running short. I have the seeds to grow those things again. So yeah, no canning projects planned today. No cooking projects canned or planned for today. And I just want to focus on getting a little organization done. And Patrick is, of course, doing some practice driving. He is a student driver at this point. So our big exciting mission for the day is to get to the dump and go recycle our cardboard boxes, which I have many of stacked up. Well, actually, they're not stacked up at the moment. He's a good kid, and he put them in the car yesterday so that we were going to get up bright and early and do it this morning. When I went downstairs at 9 o'clock, he just sat up in bed and was like clearly not very rested looking. He said he had woken up earlier while it was still dark out, and I guess took a while to fall back to sleep. So, as I mentioned, he walked the dog and went back to bed. But at some point today, being that we don't have to worry about it being 90 degrees anymore, like it was a week ago, now it's the high today is supposed to be in I think around 55. I don't have to worry about doing it in the afternoon because it won't be too hot to do it. It'll be perfectly pleasant weather. So we'll probably do that this afternoon. So yeah, those are my organizing, cleaning goals for today. Now, depending on how I'm feeling, I've been kind of, these last 2 weeks, it's getting better, kind of battling like a sinus headache thing and with vertigo, which unfortunately, if I have any sort of congestion, it was kind of my ears were, when your ears, like you go to blow your nose and your ear makes like a crackling noise, or you get a little bit of an earache and your hearing kind of cuts in and out. You've got some sort of fluid in your ear congestion thing going on. Whenever I have that, I unfortunately do tend to get vertigo. So it's been almost 2 weeks that I've been dealing with that. And fortunately, like I said, it is getting better. This morning when I sat up, I did not start to fall back. So progress is always good. Yeah, so depending on how I'm feeling, that always determines how much actually gets done in a given day. So, what are your goals? What are you working on? Has the season really, changed yet where you live? I know some people are still, particularly if you're in the more southern part of the U.S. or in other areas where it's still warmer than it is here. Your garden may still be quite productive outside, and love to hear what you're still growing. If you're doing any canning projects, love to hear what you're doing, and I will keep you updated with what I'm doing here on my little, what I try to make as much of a homestead as I can in an apartment setting. So, have a great day. Don't forget, check out a little history. Check out the great woman that Ruth Bader Ginsburg was. And let's celebrate her life. I always think that's a better thing to do than mourning someone's death, is to celebrate their life. Have a wonderful day and be productive to the best of your abilities, and while still keeping the joy in your day. Don't let your tasks become so much your master that you don't allow yourself to relax and enjoy part of the day, especially if you have a disability or health problem that sometimes makes you have to relax, and then you can kind of beat yourself up over those, I didn't finish the to-do list. I know I'm guilty of that some days, and I have to remind myself that the to-do list is more of a suggestion when you're someone who is living with a disability. Yeah, have a great day. Please subscribe, share. I truly appreciate when you do those things. I hope you enjoyed this. I hope you found it informative. I hope it gave you some things to think about today, maybe some projects you want to take on. And again, let me know what those are. I love to know what you're up to. And have a wonderful day. And as always, thank you for taking the time to watch.